We have made America safe again, and we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Pennsylvania. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. Thank you, Pennsylvania.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Absolutely awesome to start off with. Awesome to start off with. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Steve Laws, I agree. We start with a trickle. We start with small steps. It started the wave. We're going to talk about tonight DEI, diversity training. We're going to talk about what some of the companies have started to do and how much people like Zuckerberg are body licking Trump now. And he signed a load of executive orders. One of them was the JFK files. Another one was the Martin Luther King files. And people are going on about Epstein. All it needs is his head man to take control of the FBI, and then all the Epstein files will be out as well. They don't have to sign any executive document treatment for that. But he started waves, this guy, and these waves are building up into, as Steve says, a tsunami. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming, Steve. Thank you for that comment. It is definitely coming. Please share, like, and subscribe to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I've just got a big announcement to make. I'm less than 100 followers for 4,000 subscribers. I'm less than 100. But over to you, Paul. Go on, over to you.
Wow. First 100 hours of Trump's administration, he signed 300 executive orders, which transformed America. He pulled them out of the Paris Climate Agreement, saved $1 trillion. The climate hoax is over. Trump doesn't buy it. He knows it's baloney. He pulled them out of the WHO. He's now said the whole COVID episode was a scam. He's brought the troops back into the military who were kicked out because they wouldn't take the vax. That's another deep state scam. He's taken on the deep state. Now, how many people did he let out of prison? 1,600 J6 who were hostages in American prisons. The Biden administration imprisoned an army of American patriots. 1,600 of them were imprisoned. But it wasn't an insurrection. There was no arms used. They were invited into the White House. It was all false. Everything's been false. Everything has been fake. And he's exposing it straight away. Now, the biggest fake of all is the deep state in America. These are all appointments. You talk often about box tickers, John. If you tick the right boxes, gay, non-white, whatever, feminazi, you get appointed to top jobs in America. And they've taken over institution after institution in America. And Trump is just going to sack them all. They're all gone. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the NGOs in America, all these, like the George Soros Foundation, the Silicon Valley Foundation, which is Mark Zuckerberg's charitable organization, BlackRock, they put all their profits that they make in commercial activity into these foundations so they don't have to pay taxes. And every money they give out in charity, they get $1 off the American state. So these big corporations, the likes of Larry Finks, the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, Michael Bloomberg, George Soros, I wonder what religion they are. All these guys, they milk the American state. They don't pay taxes. They milk the American state. And they feed that money into institutions which serve their purposes. Tend to be left-wing ones. So, you get things like Barack Obama was a community organizer. What was he organizing? An NGO dealing with something like, I don't know, LGBT issues or critical race theory or important. They brought in 20 million illegal aliens in 4 years, the Democrats. They just basically poured these people into America, and Trump's exposing it all now and he's stopping it. There's a war going on in America within the state, and Trump is rising to the challenge. He gets his appointees in. He's had his first appointee in, Peter Hegseth. He's isolated Mitch McConnell in the Senate. It's a revolution in America. It's a war against the deep state, against the left, against this whole sort of NGO, pseudo state, which has took control of so much of American society. And they pushed all these issues like transgenderism, like the breakup of the family, anti-Christian, anti-God. Trump has brought God back. It's a revolution that he's bringing about in America, and it's amazing that he's there. How did Trump get elected? Because the deep state must have known that he was going to start this war against them, and yet he managed to beat them at so many levels. They thought through lawfare, through Norm Eisen and his lawyers in New York, I wonder what religion they were, he thought that they could tie up Trump in legal knots and he would be ineffective. He overcome it. When they realized he was going to overcome, this young lad, we still don't know who he was, but we know he was involved with BlackRock and we know he went to Washington, D.C. He was used to try and kill Trump. and he failed. That failed assassination was a turning point in history. In Butler, Pennsylvania, last July, that bullet which scraped his ear. Wow, that we got off the hook there. And Trump's he's on the warpath. He's fighting a war against the deep state and the left, who have subverted this country. They've taken control of Europe. They took control of America. He is now totally undermining them. But it's going to be a war because they'll come back and they'll fight back. They've still got the legacy media. Now, the legacy media doesn't have the reach it used to have, doesn't have the influence, but they'll use whatever means they can to bring down Trump. But I think Trump has made a quid pro quo with Mossad. Israel can do what it wants in the Middle East. Trump can do what he wants in America. I think that's the agreement he made, because Mossad could have assassinated Trump if they'd wanted to. For some reason, they didn't. Now, this is all intriguing, but everything's up in the air at the moment. Something's happening. This leftward drift that we've seen for decades has now suddenly gone into massive reverse, and it's going to have a massive impact on this country as well. Stuart, how do you see it going?
I am excited. Obviously, I'm more excited for the America than here. Going to the assassination attempt, in the year or two running up to that, no mainstream media covered one of these events. None of them. His rallies, they all said, no, we can't give him a platform to speak because he's Hitler. That was all set up to be a massive, massive psyop event. That was set up to have a lone assassin, as always happens in America, or might have connections to, guess where? Iran. That was set up to have his head blown off live on TV. That would have galvanized the whole of America, left wing, right wing, centralist, liberal, left, gay, right, straight. They would have all got behind whatever the deep state wanted to do with the military complex. It was set up to do that, and I believe Trump knows that. Now, I have been following quite a bit of his emergency orders and everything like that. He's bombasted, blasted, blown away all the media because they don't know what to deal with. Do they deal with the immigration? Do they deal with the DEI? Do they two genders? They've got, normally the left-wing media over there, they'll concentrate on something and highlight it. They're not being given the chance to do that because Trump is absolutely smashing them apart. I've just heard today that I think it's the Attorney General that he's put in place, is now opening an investigation into the J6 convictions. Is it Jack Smith, the one who run the whole campaign against him? A whole load of his staff have been fired. There's another department, that was the Department of Justice. There's another department that's got rid of a load of people. He's cutting it apart. He's going in there, he's decimating it, and just needs to concentrate on getting all the people that he needs in. And he needs to watch what's happening with the rhinos. Mitch McConnell pledged that he was going to vote for Pete Hegseth. So yeah, obviously, whoever's doing the lobbying to all the Democrats and the rhinos thought that they had the votes. It was level. They had to get Vice President J.D. Vance over to do the tiebreaker. Luckily, he was only 5 minutes away. at his residence. Otherwise, it may have not gone Trump's way. So they need to be very, very wary of the rhinos saying, yeah, we're going to vote your way, and then don't. They need to go over the top and get more votes. They need to swing it more. There's 2, 3, really, that are imperative that they get in. I think today or tomorrow, they're up. Who's up for approval?
Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr.
Oh, Cash
and
Patel. Yeah, it's Cash Patel. I think is being tomorrow. I think they said Wednesday.
Is he doing the FBI, Cash Patel? Is that
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to smash that apart. He knows where those dead bodies are lying. He knows what's in the cupboards. He really does. So
correct me if I'm wrong. They've already started saying to him, "You can't do 4 weeks. Get working. He's pushing them all to do proper jobs rather than stay at home two days a week or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you need to get him to get all the files out. You need Tulsi Gabbard, who's going to be overseeing all the services, all the so-called secret services, CIA, FBI. She's going to have the power over the lot. And I think she's a very credible, honest woman, and she's going to do the best she can for that country. And most importantly is to get RFK in. You need RFK in to sort out America's health. That's, all medications, all food, all agriculture. He wants the studies. That's all he said. Bring me the studies. If you've got the studies, then we need to do something about it. They know that the food's poison. They know that the herbicides, pesticides, growth hormones, even genetically modified, that's going to be restricted. So that they need him in there. But they've started a campaign against him, which is, there was a petition that was put before Congress that's saying that 17,000 doctors have signed this petition against RFK. Now, it turns out that anybody can go and sign that. You, me, Alex Jones, several other people have done it. So it's false. Go through all the different companies. It turns out that Bill Gates is behind it. So I do think the other week when he had Bill Gates to dinner for 3 hours and they had a nice little chat, makes me wonder if he's keeping him close because he knows he's got to keep him close to make him not suspicious of what's coming. Because I do believe that Bill Gates is being exposed at the moment.
I think Trump's an incredible operator because you talk about his 3-hour meeting with Bill Gates. He had a 45-minute conversation with Keir Starmer. I don't think anyone could talk to Keir Starmer for 45 minutes. It's a robot, isn't it? Arguing nonsense. Now, Trump has this technique of disarming people and then smashing them to pieces. I mean, he's done it with so many people. He is a top-level businessman. He's a New York businessman. He's incredibly smart. That's why he's still there. It's amazing he's still there, the opposition he's faced. And he does everything strategically, but what really shocks me about Trump is just his energy levels. He's 78. The left really felt that Trump was about to burn out. They thought his day was past. And yet, even now, I mean, that campaign he fought to win the election was fantastic. And going to meeting at these amazing rallies. What you see, in America, there are 55,000 NGOs. all financed by these billionaires through the foundations and through American tax dollars. They expanded massively under Biden. They control so much of American life. Now, this is the army that Trump had to take on. He had to take on the whole legacy media. He had to take on corporate America, you know, BlackRock and Vanguard and all the other stuff. He had to take on the deep state. He had to take on the FBI, the CIA. He had to take on a lot of the judiciary, which was put in place by the Democrats. You know, who were all lefties, crazy lefties. He had to take on so much, Trump. Why did he win that election? How did he win it? It's amazing. And the reason is he had this MAGA army, which was over 50 million American patriots were signed up to support Trump. And they were active on his behalf at every level. You know, America has this spirit, this patriotic spirit, which goes back to 1776, which will not bow the knee to tyranny. I mean, we're free-born Englishmen. I talked about that last week. The liberty we expect and enjoy, but we've bowed the knee to monarchs and to government and to the state. You know, we've got the NHS, which is a huge racket, left-wing racket controlling this country. The education system, but the NGOs and these foundations in America, the Bill Gates Foundation and the George Soros Foundation, they took control of the American universities. They took control of the established churches in America. I mean, the Catholic Church received over $2,000 million to take kids from the streets of the cities of Latin America, bust them into America, and feed them into American institutions, American schools, American social services, American cities. They reckon they brought in over 1 million children by the Catholic Church were brought in. And the Catholic Church is being paid to do this. They're all being bought and paid for by these NGOs, by these foundations. And you see, when they give this money to the Catholic Church to bring in immigrants, illegal immigrants, they then reclaim that money from the American state because they claim it's a charitable donation. It's a massive scam which took over America, and Trump has just pulled the rug from underneath it all. It's been now he won that election. He won the election in 2020, and he never submitted. I mean, I thought they would do an even bigger scam this time, but obviously they couldn't bring out another COVID. But they thought lawfare was going to be effective in bringing him down. It failed. And Trump, now, he's not trying to please anybody. He's in war mode, and he is absolutely overturning every agenda they've got, the left. And he's going to get rid of them all. I mean, he's just sacked a whole load of inspector generals. He's told the IRS, the Inland Revenue Service in America, they've all got to go to the Mexican border to stop illegal immigrants coming in. Stop picking on American firms and like pressuring them to pay taxes. Go to the border and stop immigrants instead. He's just doing what he wants to do, common sense. He's saying, I'm going to restore America the way it was, traditional America. I'm going to restore American democracy. I'm going to restore the patriotic spirit to America. And this was really important. What gives him the strength? He said, I'm going to bring God back. We've got to put God at the center of it all. We've got to have morality. We've got to have the spirit, the right spirit. We've got to have the Bible. That's what we're going to stand on. The 10 Commandments, the Sermon on the Mount. This is the truth. And we're going to stand. We're not going to take any false truths. We're not going to accept transgenderism. We're not going to accept the corruption of our children. We're not going to accept the breakup of our families. We're going to make America healthy again. And it's just fantastic to me. It's like, you know, Wordsworth said during the French Revolution, to be alive was very heaven. You know, to be young was very heaven. To be alive at this moment is incredible because we're watching a turnaround in the whole world and it's going to impact Britain. John, how do you see it impacting us?
Well, like I said, the small waves start. A lot of companies now are ditching DEI in America, and you know, some of them companies will be prominent over here in subsidy. So you know, it should start on over here, but it's the beginning. It's the beginning of the tsunami. The tsunami starts off with a tiny wave. Remember this, guys. Small steps. You work from the bottom like we are doing with the National Housing Party, running in local elections. And that's how we change things. And that wave is building up. It's building up. I've been seeing a lot about people to do with the jab and COVID and all that lot. Riley Gaines, fellas from Europe, and he wasn't allowed in until the rules changed. It's getting people out of offices doing physical work and real life work, which they need to in America. They've gone soft, and you know it's good, honestly. And the thing is, them big corporations are following suit, and that can only mean a plus and a positive over here for changing things that we want. Honestly, soon the government will be ditching DEI, knowing that it doesn't hire people who are capable to do the jobs. You know what I mean? Properly and all that lot. It doesn't matter your colour, race, ethnicity. You want the best person to do the job, and you shouldn't be hiring people just on the colour of the skin. But yeah, it's going to go big. Can I ask everyone, please, anyone new in the chat, will you subscribe to the YouTube channel? I'm less than 100 away from 4,000 subscribers on my YouTube, and it's been flying up. So please, please, please go to my YouTube, look at some of my YouTube shorts, get us up past that 4,000 mark. Please like and subscribe to all our channels. Details are in the box. We're streaming live to Rumble tonight, to VK, to Dlive, as well as Facebook, YouTube, X, of course. I'm on X as well. We get a lot of followers on X. If you're on X, please get over to our channel, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But thank you very much. Don't forget, everyone, donation links there. If you fancy donating, if you like what you hear, get donating. Come on, because you'll hear a lot more of this. But this is the National Housing Party, guys. Stuart.
I watched a little video of Trump earlier. He was talking about possibly abolishing the federal income tax over there, which was unconstitutional. They've had several court cases in the past, 100 odd years ago. I think it's the 1800s and early 1900s, where they eventually turned it over, and it was going to be like 1 to 7% tax, not 8, and then possibly 10, and it's increased over the years. So Trump has said we need to go back to when America was at its biggest boom, and its biggest boom was when there was no federal income tax. You got your state tax, but no federal income tax. It was all done through trade, and rich people donated money to the treasury just because they felt like it, and that's what kept America booming. And that's what he wants to bring back. He wants to bring back the golden age. What he's doing at the border is amazing. What I think he's done if you'd had 2 terms of Trump, I don't think it would be as good as it is now. He had those first 4 years, and he learned a hell of a lot. And little things like when it comes to immigration, you expect the left-wing media over there to show people being torn apart from their families and crying and stuff like that. They've already tried to do it with people at the border suddenly not allowed to be allowed in and crying. What Trump has done, he sent out Tom Homan, who is perfect for the job. They're taking the press with them, and they're showing them removing criminals, sex offenders. There was one Haitian guy, 17 offences removed. There was another guy, I think this was in Chicago, and he had just been let out of prison, and he had spent just over 6 years inside for a drunk driving, and he killed someone, 19-year-old girl. So he spent just over 6 years, which is horrendous anyway. But they wouldn't let ICE into the prison to arrest him there. So what they, instead of having like two immigration go into the prison, right, this guy is foreign, shouldn't be here, let's get him out, he was a criminal. They had to wait until he was out, and he's got a cell phone, and they had to wait until he was pinged so that he wasn't in a residence, because apparently if you're behind a closed door they can't come in, so something's got to change there. So some of these sanctuary cities or states like Chicago, they're doing this, they're obstructing ICE in their, customs. They're obstructing them. So I do think that in the sanctuary states, there's something that's got to change there. And I think it will do as this gathers momentum, and the mainstream media cannot ignore what he's done positively. And you've got a lot of live streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, they've all picked up on it. So it's gone countrywide, and his approval has gone through the roof. Absolutely through the roof.
You know, the important thing with that, Stu, is that people who watch podcasts, who go on social media, you know, the likes of Alex Jones and, Joe Rogan and stuff, they get massive audiences, maybe 20 million, up to 100 million. The mainstream media, the legacy media, their audience has just shrunk. I mean, CNN used to have a huge impact in America, and now has 1 million views a day. I mean, that's nothing. So the media counterattack is being thwarted because Trump has realized the power of social media. But there will be a counterattack across the board. Obviously, there'll be a legal challenge. There's already legal challenges to some of his executive orders. It's going to be interesting to see how the unions mobilize, how the deep state tries to counterattack, how the Democrats trying to counterattack. But at the moment, they're on the back foot and they're reeling. And as you said earlier, Stuart, he's attacking on so many different fronts. They're scrambling to keep up with it. And this is what we've got to see in going ahead. I mean, we're only at the beginning now. He's got to widen that attack and keep it going, wear them down, a war of attrition. Every area which they've taken control of in America must be overturned. Now, what is going to be the impact on Europe? It's important to us. I mean, we've got the German election coming in February. Elon Musk is already involved in that. The AfD, the Alternative for Deutschland, they're roaring in Germany. I mean, but it's a lot to overturn in Europe. In Europe, we have a different society from America because we're much more controlled by the state, by the likes of the National Health Service. We've got, wide state education. America is broken through the state structure, everything that's at statewide levels, and there's a lot of private medicine, and there's organizations, civil societies, which will counterattack against the NGOs and against these state institutions, which we don't have in Europe. And I mean, in America, the deep state and big money took over the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. What was so unique in America is that Trump started with Ross Perot. You remember Ross Perot when he challenged George Bush Sr. in 1988, and he gave Bill Clinton the election. Bill Clinton, no, 92 was, wasn't it? Bush won in 88. Clinton won in 92 because of Ross Perot split the right-wing vote. But Trump was involved with Ross Perot at that moment. It was a party called the Reform Party in the USA, which challenged the Republican Party. And in later on Trump was going to stand for them as their presidential candidate, but thought it was too early. But what Trump did was he entered the Republican Party and he took over the Republican Party. This is what has given him such a platform. It's like somebody coming into the Conservative Party, like as if Farage had taken over the Conservative Party. Instead, he's had to form his own party, another reform party, which, and in this country at the moment, the right-wing vote, the Conservative vote is split between Reform and the Conservatives. And that will help Labour unless one of them wins, unless the Conservatives die off. But this is it. Trump managed to enter the Republican Party because they have this thing of caucuses and they vote even at the nominational level. And he won the nomination. But in 2016, when he won, he didn't control the Republican Party. He won the nomination, but the rhinos were still in control of so much of the Republican Party. The Dick Cheneys of this world, the Dick Cheney, and the George Bushes, and the Jeb Bushes. But this time, Trump has 90% of the Republican Party in his control. There's still maybe more, maybe 20% still rhinos, the old Republican Party, but he's taking ground against them. He's pushing them out. As you said earlier, Stuart, this could be a problem for him in the Congress. But at the moment, he's got such momentum and he's got such popularity that he's overcoming the rhino opposition and he's silencing them. If he can get his nominations in, these are key people, radical people who will cleanse their departments. Every department of the American state has to be cleansed. We have seen a tidal wave of almost Satanism in the West, which has corrupted our young people, and our young people have been corrupted by it. There's no doubt about it. So we've got a cleansing process ahead here. We've got to win the war, the ideological war. There's a battle here. This is why Christianity is so important, because we need a spiritual power. We need a moral force to counteract woke and to say that woke is sick, it's degenerate. Why have these people, the likes of Soros, the likes of Larry Fink and BlackRock, the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, why have they promoted this woke agenda so relentlessly? Why have they sought to destroy our societies? Why have they brought in this relentless mass immigration from Asia and Africa? What's been the point of that? Why are they trying to destroy our societies so that we cannot resist them, the elite? They all belong to the same religion and they want to control us and they want to dominate us. But we have to revive our traditions, our religion, our Christian faith. Not in the woke churches, which have also been taken over by these same elite, Church of England and the Catholic Church. The Church of England, the Catholic Church, they have great tradition, they have great heritage, they have great teachings, but their government, the Pope and the Archbishop of Canterbury and so on, are totally bought. They've been bought out. They were hollowed out through the paedophile scandals, and then the woke foundations, which I mentioned earlier, such as the George Soros Foundation, began to finance the Catholic charities and warp them and turn them towards his use, not to the use of God. So there's every area of society, there's going to be a battle now, but the battle has begun. I mean, I saw Alexander Dugin said, we've got to make Russia great again, using the Christian faith, using the Orthodox faith. We've got to make America great again, using its faith, using the Bible. But we've also got to make Europe great again. We've got to revive the spirit, the traditions, the heart of Europe, and fight back against this woke agenda, fight back against this big state. We've got to stop this dependency on the big state because it's crippling our economies and it's crippling our society. So there's a heck of a battle on the way, but Trump is now the general. He's leading the fight. He's leading. It's like the 7th Cavalry coming over the hill, you know. And Trump is there, you know, he's in the vanguard. And it's glorious to behold. John, how do you see it unfolding?
Oh, honestly, it's going to unfold well. I know it is. Like I said, small trickles, and it's going to put pressure on corporations and stuff like that to get out that DEI rubbish. You know, and you know,
What about politically, John? How do you think it's going to impact this country, the political party? Look at the Tories. How are they going to respond to it?
Oh, I don't know. The Tories haven't even got a direction, and they can't even find themselves. You know, we've got a direction, National Housing Pie. We know how we're going to turn out, but the Tories haven't got a clue. So I don't think we can put them in it. Labour. I mean, what Trump stands for is everything against Labour. So Labour must be like, oh no, you know, they're all out in the street. Obviously, they'll be doing more demonstrations and things like that. But I think it's going to be good for Europe politically, especially earlier on. You talked about the ADF, the AFD. They're coming up. They're going to be rising big. France is the political scene in France is changed. Across Europe, the political scene's changed, and Donald Trump can only change it and push it to change more. That's what I think.
I think we do have a problem with the unelected EU Commission and also NATO. There's talk, Mark Rutte is talking about sending in 100,000 UN peacekeepers into Ukraine.
He's also pulled out of the Paris peace treaty, the Paris climate agreement as well, Trump as well. So big things are coming. Big things are coming.
Yeah, but if the UN have their way, they'll have 100,000 peacekeepers. So you've got two things that can happen there. You get a load of UN peacekeepers that get killed. That's like attacking one of the NATO countries, all out war. You've got the other side of it is that they sit there keeping the peace while Ukraine replenishes its stocks, its weapons, its army. There's already talk of them conscripting another million. Something needs to change with the EU and NATO. You know, the US have said they want an end to the war. Trump said he wants an end to the war. Even if the USA don't want any part of it and even pull out the UN because of it. Rutte, Macron, Starmer, they're all the Schultz. They're all plotting to have their own Northern Alliance. Has anyone voted to be part of this? So something big needs to change. Otherwise, we are going to end up in a full-out war, and nobody is really telling anybody. Nobody really knows about the true numbers of the deaths that are happening in there. You know, it's just horrendous.
Stu, I think Trump he's already talking to Putin. I mean, Biden never talked to Putin. I mean, Blinken was really the president of America in the last administration, because Biden, as we know, was a complete dud. And Blinken just wanted war. He didn't want any peace negotiations with Russia. But Trump is already speaking to Putin, and if they've gone beyond the war, they're looking at the post-war situation. He's already told Zelensky that there's going to have to be peace, and that it's going to have to de-escalate. Now, the idea that Starmer, who's a complete joke, Macron, another complete joke, Rutte, another complete joke, Scholz in Germany's about to go, Trudeau's about to go. The idea that these nonnities could actually fight Russia or even occupy Ukraine, it seems to me that's way beyond them. I just don't see them as statesmen. I mean, what we've ended up with in Europe is pygmies for prime ministers and presidents. I mean, when I grew up, there was the likes of Charles de Gaulle, there was Helmut Schmidt in Germany, and then Helmut Kohl, Mitterrand, the great Margaret Thatcher. I mean, these were colossus. These were really prominent world statespeople, you know, who could shape world events. The people in charge now, this is because of the EU. The EU was really the power, controls everything from behind the scenes. These people in charge are really just puppets of the globalist elite. So they've got no personality. It's like they put people in charge who are jelly babies, you know. They're just no personality. There's nothing to them. They've no vision, and they can't get out of any hole. I mean, this Labour government now, it can't work out how to make the economy grow. It doesn't really know what it's for, this Labour government. That's its real problem. It doesn't know why it's in power or what it intends to do. So it's a dud. Now, Trump's come into power with a great sense of purpose. He knows what he wants to do. And he said this in every speech: make America great again. He wants to revive the American people, increase the birth rate, revive the family, make God the center of American life again, strengthen America's influence across the globe, strengthen its military, make it an economic powerhouse again. And he knows the real enemy, the real opposition he faces is not Europe, because Europe has gone into steep decline. We need to reverse that decline big style. Europe needs a dramatic transformation. The enemy America really faces is China. Not because China wants war or anything like that, which it may do over Taiwan, but China has great potential. It's the hardworking people, the very capable people. They are potentially an economic rival of America. So, and he knows that China has moved into Africa in a massive way, and it's basically recolonizing Africa. China, it's taking over the African governments. China has moved into Central Asia. China has become very influential behind Russia. China's moved in with the Islamic world. So China is like the new rival for like great power status to America. So this is who Trump sees as the real competition. We can only come in as supporters of America because we've allowed our influence since the Second World War to be diminished to such an extent that we're only bit part players. I'll give you an example of this. In 2008, the European economy was equal to the American economy, the whole output of Europe. Today, the output of Europe is half of the American economy. Just since 2008, they've increased 50% over us. In 2008, the European economy was twice the size of China. Now it's half the size. Well, it's not quite half, but it's much smaller than China. They've reversed the roles. Europe's been in a deep decline because we've got the wrong politics. We've turned away from what made us great. We need to make Europe great again. We need to have a higher birth rate here, strengthen the family here, re-embrace our Christian traditions, start working and manufacturing in Europe again, get politicians in place who actually represent us and want to prosper our countries. The people who are running our country now are running it into the ground. As I say, Labour doesn't know what it's in power for, but it's quite happy to destroy our country. And this is happening. They're all globalist puppets, Macron. They've all got to go. Scholz. We need a new political force in Europe. And this is where Elon Musk comes in, because he has got the influence through X and through his wealth to transform European politics. But if you notice, the legacy media have started to really attack Elon Musk at every turn. And they're trying to say that he's the new Hitler. And it's just absurd because he's basically a libertarian. And but they're trying to undermine his influence. And the legacy media has more influence in Europe than America, but its influence again is waning. We are the media now, guys. It's people like us. It's people like us just speaking our mind, and people listen because we speak from the heart. We speak the truth. Where the legacy media, they're just doing the work of their masters. They're just minnows doing the work of their masters. They're hacks. No one believes them anymore. I'm amazed that nobody reads newspapers anymore. Nobody takes it seriously anymore. John, we are the media of the future, and you are the media of the present, John. You're all over the place.
Well, we're all the media. We all do our little bit, you know what I mean? And it's best that we document things and stuff like that. But, you know, the media is going to also, Donald Trump will change he'll have a big influence on the media. He started up his own platforms, Truth Social being one of them, and he made a statement last time he were in that he was gonna change the media. He was gonna put pressure on them and force them to change. And you know, he's a president now for the next 4 years, and they really are. If they want anything, if they want to interact with, they're going to have to be nice to him. You've heard what he says to them in the meetings when he's had meetings before and called them all fake news. They're going to have to be a bit nicer, the media. And the media in America is losing viewers. They're losing viewers. The big stations are losing viewers all the time because of the lies and the twisted truths they tell about people. But yeah, I do think there's big change coming. Again, it's starting off small. It started that little wave, and it's going to end up, as Steve Laws says, a tsunami. That's what he wants. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to end up a tsunami. But anyway, you know, good luck to him. Good luck to everyone around him. And let's hope he does shake the foundations of the nasty, evil globalists. Like I said, he stopped foreign aid. He's put a freeze on foreign aid until he reviews everything where that money's going. And we should do the same over here because it's being wasted and sucked away by corrupt governments and officials. And, you know, they must be laughing at us. China like that. Yes, give us that money. India, give us that money while we're making a rocket that will go to the moon. You know, you just couldn't make it up. But I think things are going to be good and he's going to start changing. Leave NATO. Pat is really, he hasn't got any faith in NATO. He's said many times. How America is funding all these big things, you know, NATO and stuff like that. America's funding them and he don't want to. He's had issues with it before and he said everyone's got to pay their equal share. But, you know, we should take some leaves out of his book, start digging some coal or drilling for oil and not leave us in a fuel crisis. In the next, within a year now, his fuel prices in America are going to go rock bottom. He's already been like that, dig, burn, burn, burn. You know what I mean? Honestly. And again, he's not ignorant of stuff. He'll still keep with green things, but he wants to make sure that Americans are not paying top dollar on the fuel, and that's what he's going to do. So, you know, good thing in America, good thing. Anyway, we're coming up to the last few minutes. Last 2 minutes, we've got a tune to take us out. But please like and subscribe. I've seen loads of you in the chat tonight. Get onto my YouTube and please like my YouTube. I'm just short of 4,000 subscribers. And it's been going up quite regular. Let me just see. Yes, I've just had 3 subscribers while we've been going live. Please like and subscribe. All the descriptions, emails are on bottom of the screen if you want to chat with us. If you'd like to make a donation, there's a NHP UK PayPal there. And, you know, we don't waste money, us. All our money goes on leaflets. We've had 5,000 leaflets delivered to Mark Williams in the Midlands, and he's took some of them to rugby. And I will be going to rugby next month, meeting new, hopefully, candidate of ours, Lloyd. So I'll be going to rugby next week. But yeah, leaflets. I want leaflets, guys. We've got some elections coming up, so we need some money for leaflets. So please get donating whatever you can. As you can see, my super chat's open now at the moment as well. I've just upgraded and monetized my YouTube. So please share the stream, like and subscribe to all our channels, and God bless America. Any last words, Stuart?
Just, we need, I mentioned this before on the last, we need the UK to come together, whatever colour, creed, religion, come together and unite Britain again. We're decimated. I would also say that we need pressure on the government, big pressure. We need to stop all this willy-nilly immigration. Absolutely, or we'll have no chance of doing our own reset. We need our own great reset, and to do that, we need a platform, foundation, basis to work off. So no immigration, build the foundations of the family. As Paul said earlier, we need our fertility rates up and our birth rates up, and we need to look at why they were going down, not just through social pressures, teaching our kids at school age that we're killing the world, that you can't have children because it costs too much, you can't bring them up in a world that we're killing. This is taught from a young age. Paul, you mentioned earlier about the American universities all being infiltrated. Exactly the same has happened here, especially with our education system. It needs to be wiped out, and we need to bring religion back into our schools. Just so that
you're right.
morals, basic rights and wrongs and morals should be taught from a young age, not that we owe somebody some money because it might have rained too hard there because of our industrial complex. No, it's done. We need to get all of that, as it's happening in America with the education system, clean it out. Universities, when you've got 50-year-old teachers in school that are telling teenagers off because they won't use pronouns, something's gone completely wrong there, and that shows that whatever the teachers are being taught, it is a wrong foundation for the future of our country. So it needs big overhaul.
It's going to take a long time to completely turn this round. As John said, this is a small beginning. We've got 4 years of Trump, hopefully, and then hopefully we've got another 8 years of JD Vance. We've got to turn this round. I mean, the tsunami is gathering momentum, but it's going to be a long-term process. I mean, we talked there about resetting Britain. What we've managed to do under Trump is get over this globalist reset. What we need is an American revolution in Britain to take us back to the great nation we were. Make Britain great again. Okay, John?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you. Plenty of people in the chat tonight. Please, just join the party. Look at our website, put it in. But anyway, let's get for a tune on the way out. Here we go.